Hello and welcome to Internet once again. Today in this video, we're gonna see how you can stream on kick.com, a new streaming website which is doing pretty hot right now. So let's shoot up OBS and see what we can do. Before we go on to kick.com, I'm going to show you how to set up your OBS studio and the optimal settings for streaming. So when you load up OBS, it looks a little bit something like this. You've got a little display section over here. It's the preview of what you're going to see on your stream. On the right side, you can see a little YouTube live control panel. Sometimes if you're streaming on Facebook, you'll see a Facebook live control panel. So essentially that's the area for that. If you don't want this, you can just close that from here. Do not show again. Okay, so on the left side, you're going to see scenes. Now, this is the essential area where you can set up different scenes, and scenes are basically a group of different sources, and sources are the things that you need to capture your window, your game, or whatever and whatnot. So I'm just going to show you how to set up a scene real quick. Let's say you make a new scene. Now, when I do make it, you're not going to see anything, but I will come back to that. So click on OK after you rename it. And I'm just going to go back to live because in scene 2 there's no sources, so just consider that this is scene 2, or a new scene, or whatever you named your scene. This is going to be empty, so you need to add sources in that. So to add sources, click on this little plus icon over here, and once you click it, you will see a drop down menu which is dropping up, but there's a lot of options that you can choose from. So audio input capture, audio output, browser, color source, display capture, which I'm running right now, and if you need to capture your entire display, that's the one you run. Then there's also game capture, which actually detects a game and is much lighter than display capture. And if you want to stream a well-known game that it is usually recognized by the softwares, so this is the one you want to use, game capture. Other than that, we have an image, so you can import an image, an overlay that just stays there, an image slideshow, a media source which plays a video. So let's say if you have an animated overlay video source, you can do that. You can set that up with this. You can also add a different scene inside a scene. So this is for compositing some text. Video capture device, so this is going to be your webcam or DSLR if you've set it up. So window capture essentially just captures the window that you're in at the moment. So I'm in OBS, so it's only going to capture this area. It's not going to capture my browser, not going to capture my files explorer, and nothing like that until it is set to that. So the most general option is display capture, which captures your entire display. Doesn't matter what you're doing, game, music, editing, recording, whatever and whatnot. Display capture just captures your entire screen, no matter what is on your screen. So we're gonna set it up. Just click on that. You can name it and then make source visible. Make sure this is clicked. Click on OK, and then capture method, set it to automatic. And if you have more than one monitors, then you need to select the one that you want to stream. I'm going to choose my main monitor, my 1080p monitor, so I'm going to click that. And then capture cursor if you want to. Force SDR, that doesn't really matter. Force SDR just limits the color palette. So let's say if you're streaming in HDR, it won't let you stream in HDR, but that's only for saving bit rates. Anyways, it's not really that important. So just click on OK. And now you can see your display capture is set up nice and tidy. So since I already have one, I'm just going to delete this one. So just select it and press Del on the keyboard, or just right click and go to remove. And yes, I'm sure. So that'll remove the display capture. So sources actually work like layers. So if you've worked in any program such as Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, or any video editing program, you would know that layers means what is on top of what. So if I want a display, maybe my game, and then I also want my camera on the left side or maybe on the right side. So what I'm gonna need to do is to set up my camera on top of my display. So if I just enable my camera from over here, it's turned off right now, so you can't really see anything but black, and I'm running a little image overlay over here, so it looks kind of cool, and you can just move it around wherever you want in the stream. That's up to you. But if I put my display capture on top of the group, the camera group, as you can see, now you can't see it. So keep in mind that it has to be on top of the display capture or video game capture, whatever you're running. Same as the thing with the browser. Let's say you're running a chat box. For that, you need to run a browser, and that if you want the chat to be visible, or if you've set it up and you can't actually see it, then check if your browser is below your display capture. It needs to be above the display capture because, you know, layers, that's just how they work. For now, I'm just going to delete that. So that was sources. Now let's go to the audio mixer. Generally, which you're going to see here is desktop audio and your mic, whatever you're running. You can add or remove audio sources from here. Go to plus icon and then audio input capture. But generally, OBS does detect the main audio. All the audios from every scene, it just puts into desktop audio, and then the audio from your microphone, as you can see when I speak, and the mic is going up. And if you see this speaker icon turned red with a cross, it means that you've muted it. Since I'm recording my screen and I don't want any Windows sounds to disrupt this recording, I've disabled my desktop audio. But if you're streaming a game and you want the desktop audio, so just click on that and it will enable the desktop audio. Then you can control the level from this slider. But for now, I'm just going to disable that. So just going to click on this little icon. And other than that, you can also add filters to your audio to glow up the audio. If I click this little sandwich icon over here, the 3 dots, you can see this option. It says filters, so just click on that. And the 2 filters I run and recommend everybody is noise suppression, set on RNN noise. So if I just delete this, you'll see there's a little bit of background noise in my microphone, so that's how we get rid of that. We go to the add button, go to noise suppression, name it whatever you want, click on OK, and then just set it on RNN noise. Don't set it on speaks, this is bad, it just doesn't work. Set it on RNN noise. And then gain, which I like to keep on 3 decibels, makes it very loud and clear. And then you can, you know, if I click close here, you can then change the input of the microphone using this slider over here. So if I slide it down, I'll go less loud. If I slide it up, probably to your ears, but I like to keep it on 3.6 or somewhere like that. Generally recommend it. Coming back to the sources for a second, you can also add a lot of filters on your video properties as well. So just going to right click on the display capture, click on filters, and you can add all sorts of things over here. Let's say LUT. So if you have a color grade file, you want to apply the color grading of that, so just use this. Let's say if you're running a green screen background on your camera and you want to make it disappear, then use chroma key out that background, and there's that. There's color correction, other things. Also cropping and padding to help you crop the area, the video. There's masks and blending, there's luma key, all sorts of good stuff. You can explore that on your own. Just gonna close that for now. Now let's dive deep into settings actually. So on the right side of your screen in the controls panel, you're gonna see settings. Just click on that. So there ain't much to do in the general tab. Just make sure that you have automatically checked for updates on startup enabled. It checks for updates every time you start OBS, and it is generally recommended to run the latest version to avoid any bugs. And in the system tray, just keep it enabled. It allows you to access OBS from the system tray down here. So it's pretty helpful. Onto the next tab is the appearance. You can change how it looks for you. For me, I'd say the default works the best, but if you want a lighter version, you can choose the light. But this just destroys my eyes, it's a little too bright. You can also go to the classic. That's the theme when OBS came out first with, so you can also choose that or whatever else you want. I'm just going to keep it on default. In the stream tab, this is the actually important place where we're going to set up Kick. So actually, let's just do that right now. The problem with this is that if you click on the service, you won't see Kick anywhere over here, even if you click show all. So if I just quickly go down here in all the services provided by OBS as default, I see Kick anywhere, and that's because it's a new service, relatively new, it's still in beta. So we're going to have to add it custom. So just add custom, and you'll see server and stream key. Now, where do we get those? We're going to get those from kick.com. So open up your browser and go to kick.com. Okay, so I'm in my browser now and I'm on kick.com. Make sure that you're logged in with the account that you want to stream on, and this is where you can select your account from. So click on this little icon, go to Creator Dashboard. On the left side, go to Settings and then go to Stream Key. So this is the stream URL. Essentially, this is the server where you're going to be streaming. So we're just going to copy that, go to OBS, paste it in the server, like so, and then go back, copy the stream key. This is essentially the thing that links the server with your account. So I'm just going to paste that, and I'm going to click on apply. So now we're actually logged on and we have set up OBS to stream on our Kick account. So that's pretty awesome. Now let's do the rest of the settings real quick. Go to output to set up your video bitrate to 4000 kbps. This is generally recommended for most platforms and most people's PC. Any higher than that can put a lot of strain on your GPU as it has to encode the video that you're streaming. So I generally recommend to keep it on 4000. If you want higher, you can go up to 5000 or 6000. And if that is giving you issues, you can go down to 3500, even 3000. So that's up to you, but 4000 is the sweet spot in my experience. Audio bitrate, it really doesn't matter to keep it more than 128 since even YouTube is going to compress it to that. But if you're streaming video games or anything else like that, high quality stuff, then I generally recommend to keep it on 192. Some platforms just benefit from the higher audio bitrate. And if you're streaming music, then it makes sense to stream at 320. In the video encoder, if you have a NVIDIA GPU, then use hardware NVENC H.264. If you don't have an NVIDIA GPU, if you're running an AMD GPU, or your GPU is not as powerful as your CPU, then run software X264 for the best results. In the encoder, set it on P5, which is slow but gives you GIF quality. If you want to reduce the lag on your stream, then you can go set it to fast, but don't set it to fastest because that will just destroy your quality. It's not good. So for the sweet spot of quality and not much delay, I'd say just keep it on slow and you're gonna be fine. Don't really need to change anything in recording since we're not recording, we're going to be using this for streaming. So next is audio. In the audio tab, make sure that the sample rate is 48,000 kilohertz since that is the standard. It's going to give you the highest quality audio. And down in the global audio devices, you can choose your desktop audio, so whatever you're taking output from. So just keep it on default and you're going to be fine. You can also choose your microphone, whatever one you're running. So I'm running a podcast microphone, I'm going to use that. Other than that, it is all fine. You don't really need to change anything down there. In the video tab, you can choose your resolution and your frames per second. So for FPS, keep it on common FPS values. 60 is the general recommendation for gaming since that'll make it look smooth. 30 is really jagged and not recommended, but if you're streaming anything other than gaming, 30 can be fine as well. So resolution is the important part. It's always optimal to have your base resolution the same as your output or scaled resolution, but whatever your base resolution is, make sure your output resolution is always either 720p, which is 1280 by 720 pixels, I'll write it down on the screen, or 1920 by 1080 pixels, which is called Full HD. And the reason you want that is that all the platforms either run 720p or 1080p as their base resolutions. So make sure your output resolution is one of those two, and obviously Full HD is recommended for higher quality. But if you don't have a powerful PC and your games are starting to lag or your internet is giving you issues, then it's better for you to stream at 30 FPS and 720p. So keep that in mind. So the next setting is hotkeys, and I strongly recommend that you use them, especially when you're gaming. It's really helpful. If you set up a soundboard and if you want to play different sounds on different occasions, you can do that only through hotkeys. So hotkeys make a lot of sense, especially for gamers and people who want to glow up their stream. In accessibility tabs, you get the option to change the colors or the borders of different options given inside of OBS. And in the advanced tab, you can change your renderer and your color space, but honestly, unless you're doing really color sensitive streaming, let's say if you're doing graphic design, then I recommend to change your color space to RGB, but for generally gaming and all sorts of other stuff, Rec 709 is just fine. And the renderer, just keep it on Direct 3D11, do not use OpenGL, it is way outdated. Other than that, all of these settings on default are just fine and you're pretty much set up to go. So just click on OK and click on Start Streaming and you'll start streaming on Kick. So that's how you stream on Kick using OBS. I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and if it was, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel.